Welcome. I'm so glad you were free to meet with me to go over how we catalog the retro video games that we get for the store. Yeah, we do buy some from some collectors, from various vendors, and sometimes people will donate their old video games that, sadly they don't need anymore. But of course, there will always be someone out there who really cherishes these games, which is what makes our store so great. Have you enjoyed working in the store lately? Awesome. Yeah, so today I'll just be training you over how we get the games. When we first get them, I have to give them an initial check, which sometimes I go ahead and clean them off a little bit because they're a little dusty. And then I'll just make sure they're in somewhat good condition, check them into our system here, and then I'll move them into our professionals who make sure the games are properly clean and in working condition. Yeah, it's a whole process, and we're not expected to necessarily do that in this portion of when we get games, but if something is falling apart, it's easy to tell, how much cleaning or maintenance it might need. We do have some people who really enjoy putting games or any devices we get from, decades ago back in working order. So it's a lot of effort and adjustment, but definitely worth it, and what makes us so unique as a retro video game store. Yeah, we really try to take care of all the games we get, old and new, and make sure that they are passed on to loving homes. So, are you ready to get started? I'm going to essentially walk you through some of what I do, and then you can kind of shadow me, and then I'll give you your own set to work with afterwards, if that's okay. Yeah, alright. Then let's get started. First, let me make sure I have my cataloging system up. Yes. Okay, yeah, we have everything in the system. Usually we try to check it in, and then if there will be some sort of like coding or barcoding later on once they're on the store floor, but for now, just gonna manually type them in so that we can prep that step later. Okay. So let me go over a few of the things we'll do. So I have a whole set of games here that are going to need some checking in and initial cleaning. I will use some items here. I have some cotton balls. It's just a light dusting. I don't obviously use anything at this point in time until we move it over into the professionals, but I do like to give it a once gentle clean over. And then I also have some Q-tips, which I'll show you how to use shortly. And then I obviously have typing in to do once I check through everything. And additionally, I have a cloth here to also help with dusting as well. So I'm just gonna go ahead and leave this to the side. Okay, are you ready? Perfect. So let me grab what looks to be like some of the old Nintendo games from definitely a few decades ago at this point. Can you believe it? So yeah, this is $19.99 on it. Yeah, I think a lot of people still have a lot of these to this day, but they are becoming more rare, so it's good to, keep them in the best shape as possible. So it looks like it even has the old price tag on it. Used to be $14.99. Can you imagine? Games nowadays are much more expensive. And this probably will go for a pretty penny as well. Depending on who has the console to play it. So in terms of these games, you can see this is Toy Story 2, Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue. I've actually played this before. Yeah, back when I was a kid. It was very fun. It was also really challenging, I recall, but it was so fun. So I'm just checking. It looks like there's some writing on the back, so we may need to find a way to get rid of that. Might remove the label, but I'm not going to do that just now because I don't want to ruin it without the right tools. And we do have, again, professional cleaners, so I'll let them do that. But to kind of help them out, I'm just going to go ahead and do a little dust over. And then go ahead and take cotton ball as well, just to make sure I get in some of the crevices. Sometimes some of the dust is just much more on there than the cloth might get. So I'm just going to do a once over. Okay. And then I'm going to get the Q-tip. And this is where I like to gently clean the inside, very gently. I don't want to ruin anything. I don't know, as a kid we used to like blow on these to get the dust out. But I would absolutely recommend not doing that now. And we definitely would want to sanitize this if that were the case. So I'm just going to gently clean. Very gently. I'm not doing much pressure at all, and there's actually a little bit of dirt that has come off. So that's about as much as I'm gonna go ahead and do for now. And so then I'll go ahead and type it in. So it will automatically, give the games a part, like its own item code. All we just have to do is type in each item and enter it, and the system will go ahead and assign it a unique identifying number. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that there for now. I'm gonna grab the next one. Looks like we have next up Donkey Kong 64, again for Nintendo. Yes, this is definitely a classic. You've played this one before? Awesome. Did you enjoy it? Did you make it to the end? No? That's okay, maybe you'll want to play it in the future. Look, it says it was $9. That's really interesting. I'm sure it will be not quite that much, but I'll go ahead and clean it off with the cotton ball because it looks like there's a little bit of heavier dust. Okay, clean it. Okay, and then I'm taking the Q-tip, gently dusting. Okay, perfect. And then what do we do next? That's right, we enter it in. See, you're a fast learner. 64. Okay. Alright. So I'm going to do a few more. Alright, so this one is got a little damage. This might be able to be cleaned off. Just looks like some glue residue from maybe a label. And some of the label is torn off. So it looks like this is the Blues Brothers 2000. Was it made in 2000? 1995. It also says 96 and 97. So I'm not really sure which year specifically, but you can kind of see some of the label. It's messed up, so we'll just have to clean some of that. I think for now, I'll just go ahead and do the Q-tip to just get any initial dust, and I'll let the cleaners go through this. Oh yeah. Have you ever played this game before? No? Neither have I. It looks like it was probably well loved though. Okay. 2000. Okay. Gonna set that one to the side as well. Like this over here. Okay, the next one we have is A Bug's Life. Oh, A Bug's Life. Pixar, Disney. So I'll go ahead and clean this one off. Yeah, these can get really dusty. Oh, see, this one used to be used, and it was $16.99. What do you know? Yeah. What year was this? Oh, 95 to 97. Interesting. Okay, so this is A Bug's Life. Yeah, just the title of the name is fine for now. I have it categorized under Nintendo games at the moment, so it should appropriately tag them, and we'll probably end up adjusting any information in the next few steps. I do want to make sure that they work, because, you know, if it's damaged to the point where you can't play it, then obviously there's not much we'll be able to do. So it's better to kind of get initial information, and then if it gets through the cleaning and maintenance process, then we can move on to putting it into the store and online for purchase. Yeah. Okay. So let's see, we have another one. Oh my goodness, Mario Party 2. Would you look at that? Yeah. This is such a fun game. Have you played it before? You have? Did you enjoy it? Oh yeah. Yes, it's very fun and yet very dangerous to play with a group of people that you call loved ones, because it could really give divides. Yes, I think me and my siblings would fight, many a fight, over who would win. It was very competitive. Yeah, also from the 90s. Wonderful period of time. So I'll go ahead and dust that off. It doesn't really feel that dirty, so I'll skip the cotton ball and move into the Q-tip. Just a light sweep. No harsh pressure. Once again, we don't want to damage any of the technology that hopefully is still working. So I'm going to type this in. Mario Party 2. Alright. Let's see. I think there's one more in here. Yes, so this is the last one. Yes, this is the coveted Star Wars Episode 1 Racers. This was such a loved game for us growing up as kids. Yeah, me and my siblings would play this game all the time. So it's really fun to see this come through our little video game store. Star Wars is beloved by many, so I'm sure someone will be very excited to get this. I'm just gonna dust that. Okay, and then grab this lightly. Yes. Wonderful. Yes, I think there is a Star Wars game coming out very soon. I can't for the life of me remember the name, but I know it's coming. Episode. Yes, I hear my coworkers talking about it all the time. I'm sure you have as well. I think what's really great is that if you are into video games, there's really quite literally a video game for any kind of person, and even the type of things you're interested in culture already, whether that's Star Wars or a Disney movie like Toy Story, or just Mario and his friends. So I think there's a lot of different games out there that really pertain to anyone at this point in time, so it's really cool. Yeah, I feel like my tastes in video games are different from other people. I like the cozy video games a lot, which isn't always everyone's cup of tea, but I think that's what makes it fun, right? Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the next set, and I'm going to put these back. Do you feel like you're getting the hang of what the process is? You want to keep watching for the next... Okay, yeah, no worries. I am totally available for you to make sure that you feel comfortable with this process. Absolutely. Okay, so the next set looks to be... I think these are all Wii games. So it looks like we have a stack of Wii games. We have a few here, and I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 of these, and they do feel kind of dusty. I think Wii console is probably maybe the least console that I used, if that makes sense. I didn't really use it very much, even though we had one growing up. For me, I think the GameCube, the PlayStation 2, and the Nintendo 64 were really prominent in my childhood. So, yeah, I think the Wii was, you know, a nice moment. I'm not sure if anyone's really still obsessed with the Wii. Maybe you know anyone? It's still maybe a little relatively newish, but yeah. Okay, so let me put these to the side. So the first one we have is Harvest Moon Animal Parade. Yes. Did you like the Harvest Moon games? Oh, I definitely enjoyed the Harvest Moon games. They're probably some of my favorite games I've ever had the pleasure of playing, and I do spot a few more in this batch, which is really exciting because I really love these kind of games personally. So let's open it up to make sure the game is in there. There we go. It's like a full-on DVD size. It even has the little pamphlet. Okay. Ooh. I don't know if I've played this one very much. Oh my goodness. Oh, I just love farming games. They're my favorite. And falling in love with the villagers. I mean, you can't say no to romance, you know what I'm saying? And the animals are just so cute. Look at that cow. That's the cutest cow I've ever seen. I kind of wish cows looked like that, but you know, cows are still cute. They still got it going on. Okay, good to know that that's all good, so I'll close it back up. So it's a little dusty. I'll probably go ahead and just use the cloth for these. So go ahead and get rid of my other items. I'll just put these on for now until I get another batch. Yeah, these don't really necessarily need as much initial cleaning, just a nice dusting. Okay, so that is called Harvest Moon Animal Parade. Alright, perfect. Oh, what year? 2009. That's what I'm looking at. But it also says 2007. So maybe it was 2007. I'm not really sure, but that was quite a bit ago. Alright, so I'll put this back here. Next we have Sims. Oh my goodness, I loved these games. My Sims Kingdom. Okay, this one I think I do remember playing and I really loved it. It's just so fun. Looks like we got, oh, that's an interesting visual. Looks like we still got it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and dust that and type that in. My Sims Kingdom. You know, fun fact, I've never actually played the actual Sims game, just the children ones. So I think I do need to explore that someday. Okay. Next, we have Animal Crossing City Folk. Well, I'm a big Animal Crossing fan. I don't know that I would necessarily say this was the most amazing Animal Crossing, but it was very fun initially. Looks like there's a little dent in the cover, but that should be okay. It's still in pretty good condition. Yeah. Whoa, that's, oh, it even has your capabilities of having your Wii character as your character look. It's a little frightening. We've come a long way with Animal Crossing, but still love the OG games. You know, some of them, I think there's nothing compared to the first one. Yeah, that one's definitely classic. Okay, so Animal Crossing City Folk. Yeah. Alright. Wonderful. That looks to be good. Next we have My Sims Agents. Would you look at that? They are getting snazzy over time. Yes. Okay. Go ahead and dust this one. Okay. Let's see. Oh, the plastic covers. Yes, we can go ahead and replace them. It is a little tricky, but it is possible. Like if this were cut through or there was like cracked cover plastic, we do have the tools to redo the plastic to the best of our abilities. Yeah. Let me go ahead and type this one in. Agents. Okay. Awesome. last one for Wii games is My Sims. This is just the average My Sims, I guess. There's a lot of Sims games here. That's so cute. Yeah, get a closer look. They're so fun, so happy. Let me go ahead and wipe this down. Okay, so this is probably the children's version of the actual Sims game, so hence the name My Sims. I guess they didn't go with Sims for kids because you're kind of still playing adults, but they're like children PG friendly. So that's probably why they went about it that way. Let's see what year. 2006. Wow. So it looks like we have another stack, and this time it's GameCube games. We love GameCube. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, we have 5 games here. So, like the other ones, I'll go ahead and check them in. Okay, I'm excited because I can already see it is the original Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life. I think there's possibly a chance there were more Harvest Moons before this one. I don't recall. But I do, this was, at least for me, one of the first games I got to play and like in the Harvest Moon verse. Wow, just so exciting. I think we ended up playing the whole life of a character, so like through the whole entire game, which is interesting. If you've ever played this game, you basically play, spoiler alert in case you don't want to hear what's next, but are you comfortable if I share? Okay. Basically you play until your character dies. It's really sad, but like cute. I can't explain it. It's a wonderful life. And you basically play until your death, but it feels like you're not that old. It's weird. It's weird. I know. So anyway, it's still fun, I promise. It's not like a tragedy type thing. It's just like a very interesting ending. Oh, that's funny. They have a little disclaimer here. It says basic reading ability is needed to fully enjoy this game. I guess that is a good disclaimer. Sometimes people don't like reading conversations and they just want to do the things on the farm or in the game. And so I can see why, you know, that's important, is to understand the dynamics. Okay, well, let's go ahead and dust this one off. Yes, this is definitely special in my eyes, but I'm sure, you know, someone else will love to have this in their collection. I already have one, yeah, although I don't play it as much. Okay, so it looks like we still have the game. GameCube discs were very much smaller. Looks like there's a little fold in the pamphlet. So yeah, just went through the different things. Little characters. Those are like the little kids. When you eventually started raising kids, you got to have 3 different people you could potentially marry. Yeah, my goodness. I think if I ever played this again, I'd have to read this because, quite honestly, I forgot quite a bit available. But I had so much fun. Okay, so let's go ahead and type this in. Wonderful Life. Okay. Yep, that's all good to go. So the next one we have is Harvest Moon Another Wonderful Life, which is like part 2 or the second game, but this time you got to be a female character, or what appears to be a female character, versus a boy, if you will. But now I think the games you can kind of choose whatever presentation you want, which is really cool, and you get to pick different types of people for partners, which I think is really cool, and I love that they've grown in that way. Look at all those cute animals. I think this is definitely one of my favorites as well. Yeah, I have this one too. Again, love to farm. Yeah. So I'll go ahead and clean that one off. And let's see. Okay, so Harvest Moon. Another Wonderful Life. Okay. Yes, very exciting. Okay, the next one, if you can guess, another Harvest Moon. This one is Magical Melody. Well, that's cute. They even look much younger, though. I don't know how that happened. They all look like kids. There's like much more childlike cartoony. Yeah, not as realistic. This one, I think I've played this one. It's not my favorite out of all of them, but it's definitely, still got the Harvest Moon elements you know and love, with some interesting changes within it. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and type in Harvest Moon Magical Melody. Lovely. Alright, so we have 2 that are non-Harvest Moon, I promise, but it looks like we have The Legend of Zelda Classic Collector's Edition. Promotional disc includes 4 classic games. Oh wow. Okay, so it looks like it has The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. Then we have Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, and The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Oh, that's a terrifying photo. It looks like there's a little bit of water damage here, and there's a dent right over here in the plastic, so we will need to have someone fix that, potentially re-sleeve this. Oh good, it's in here. I was a little worried that it may not, a little dusty. Just clean that. A little dusty, still has some papers in it. That's really cool. That's interesting. Okay, and this year was, well, various games in this. Oh, there's a playable demo of Zelda the Wind Waker as well. Yeah, these games were probably a mix between the 80s and 2003 when they were actually developed. Oh, yeah, I liked Zelda. I do think that I'm not as familiar with a ton of the lore as some other people, but I did enjoy it. And had a very hard time thinking that the little guy in the green elf costume was not Zelda. In fact, his name was Link, and so Zelda is actually the name of the princess, if I'm not mistaken. It was a little confusing because usually games are based off like the actual character, But The Legend of Zelda obviously is iconic, so Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition. Yeah, it technically includes a few games within this game, so I just want to make sure that I notated that down. But then we're all set. Okay. Next up, we have Final Fantasy 12, I believe. Wait, 10, 11, 12. Yes. How do I read Roman numerals again? I don't recall. Yeah, this game was really beautiful, I recall. I didn't get to play it very much in my past, but I loved the artwork. It's still one of the most probably iconic games out there in the Final Fantasy chain. Yeah. Clean that off. I love it. I love this kind of fantasy world. It's definitely my favorite kind of world and genre, even in shows and books. So, Final Fantasy, and that's 12. Yeah. Alright, so I think we're done with this batch, and we're also done with this batch. I do have another batch of games. It's a little bit smaller, so I'll probably get those relatively quickly, and then I'll have you go ahead and get started on your part, and you can take some time to do them on your end. Yeah, and what I like to do in this process is, it is kind of monotonous, but I find it also relaxing. So, you know, you could watch YouTube or Netflix while you do it. We don't really mind. We understand, you know, it's a very simple process, so you can kind of really chill while you do it. Yeah, no problem. I think it's fun because sometimes you don't have to kind of be on the floor with customers. You can kind of get a little break from that. Exactly. Okay, so let me go ahead and get the next batch for us. So I have the next set of games, and it looks like we have a Game Boy and a game controller, and then we have a few Game Boy games and some other Nintendo games as well. So Nintendo 64 games. So let me just start pulling it out. So off the bat, it looks like we have a Game Boy Color. This looks incredibly old for sure, and looks like the back is pretty loose, so I'm going to be really careful. This was from 1998. Wow, that's quite a bit ago, so want to handle this with care. Okay, so let me go ahead and just dust this off. And I will probably leave it up to our team to make sure that this is properly taken care of, but I'll go ahead and leave it off to the side. I'm not going to type anything in for now, just because I do want them to really make sure that it works. And I'm currently cataloging just games, so I'll just set these off in another section. And if you come across stuff like this, I do have a section that you can put them in, because they're just a different category of items. Yeah, so you don't need to worry about typing them in just yet. We have someone else who will kind of go through and do that once they really make sure they work. Let's see, what else do we have? Well, looks like we have a few Game Boy games. And this looks to be Pokemon. All of them are Pokemon. I don't think I've ever played these before. Have you? No, yeah, they're for the Game Boy. definitely looks like they were for the Game Boy Color. So let's go ahead and just dust these off. Even the labels are very worn down, but look at that little Pikachu. Looks so cute and yet so angry. And then I'm not a huge Pokemon person, so forgive me, but I don't remember who this was. I was a very high level Pokemon person, okay? I'm not ashamed of it. I mean, can you blame me? There's a lot of Pokemon to remember, but I'm sure someone will find these and know exactly what they are and fall in love with them, which is the point, right? Someone else will find them incredibly valuable. So, I do think this is, okay, special Pikachu edition. I'm just gonna go ahead and type these in as Game Boy, Pokemon, and 4 cards. I'll probably circle back to these later once I kind of make sure they are still in working condition. I think they're a little too slim for a Q-tip, so I'm just going to leave them alone. So, set that off to the side. Alright, so let's see what's next. It looks like we next have a Nintendo 64 controller. Yeah. Yep, definitely is the classic clear looking one with the purple tint. And it's even got a really nice cord. This was very much all the rage. Everyone always loved this controller a lot. So I'm sure we'll find a good home. But I'm not going to go ahead and type it in because it is technically part of a console and I just want to make sure it goes to the right people. So I'll set this off to the side. Okay, so next up we have a classic. Looks like the Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 64. Yes, this one is beloved by many and they're still coming out with versions of this on newer, consoles and all that, but I definitely think this is going to be treasured. So, here, I'll type it in first, just so I don't forget. Sometimes you get so used to the rhythm of this stuff, you might switch around the way you do stuff, but as long as you do type it in, that's really what matters. We always professionally clean it, so if you accidentally forget to clean it, that's okay. But I'll go ahead and clean it now. Just use a cotton ball to really clean it. And wipe it down. And then I will take a Q-tip. And we will go ahead and just lightly, gently swab the inside. Alright, so this one is all set. And the next one we have is another Mario game, Super 64 Mario. Wow, this is a retro game, that's for sure. It's 1996. I don't think I've ever played this one before. Yeah, I hear it's well loved by people who are really into Mario games. So definitely some will enjoy this one. Okay, so we have Super 4 Mario. And there's Bowser charging ahead in the background. Okay. Next up we have this game called Star Fox 64. Have you ever played this? Neither have I. Yeah. This game is from also 1996. Yeah. It looks very old, but it's still in a good looking condition. Slightly clean that. Okay, Star Fox 64. People really love to use 64. I think they were using 64 because it was for the Nintendo 64. So that's probably why you see a lot of 64. I mean, this one also, it says 64. So I'm assuming they, did that on purpose. Okay. Next we have Mortal Kombat Trilogy. Oh, rated M. So definitely for mature. Also 96. Oh, I definitely think someone's going to snatch this up as soon as they can. Yeah, some of these games are pretty old and they may not even be that, maybe they didn't play that well before, but I think people still love to collect them and play them every now and again, even if they didn't love the game that much. Okay, Mortal Kombat Trilogy. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside. Let's see. We have another Mortal Kombat, and this one is Mortal Kombat Mythologies Sub-Zero. Yeah, I've never played the Mortal Kombat games before. I don't really have an opinion because I've never played them, but definitely like what they say, a cult classic of games. So, Mortal Kombat Mythologies Sub-Zero. So, do you feel like you're getting the hang of it? You feel confident to do the next batch? Great, that's good to hear. Alright, so next we have Pokemon Snap. Yeah, I wasn't really hugely into Pokemon, so I think I've played maybe 1 or 2 Pokemon games myself. I, again, was very much into farming games, so I know someone probably really loved this. Okay. And we'll go ahead and clean that off. So far, I mean, they all look good on the outside, but again, if they don't work, that might become an issue down the road. So, Pokemon Snap. Okay. Alright, so this is our last game, and what a wonderful game to end on. We have The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Wow. Looks delightful. The label is still really good, intact, and it's not that banged up or anything, which is really nice. So, I'll go ahead and dust it. And the outside. Okay. And we have Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Alright. Okay, that's it. Yep, we are all done now, so I'll go ahead and clean off my table here. I'll go ahead and get the next batch for you, and then you can take my spot and go ahead and do the next round. I'll be doing some filing over by the next desk, but if you need anything, please let me know, and I'm more than happy to help you out during the process. But yeah, we'll probably do this for another hour or two, and then we can have a break and then switch over to something else. Yeah, like I said, you can kind of chill, watch YouTube, listen to a podcast while you work, since it is pretty kind of monotonous, if you will. Yeah. Well, thanks for walking through this with me. How about you go ahead and take a 10-minute break for now. I'll go ahead and clear all this up, and then when you get back, we can get started. That sounds good. Alright, thank you for walking through this with me. I'll see you in about 10 minutes. Alright. Sounds good.